King Gaming. Fourth pick for them now. And we got to see a few more calls coming up from their end of things.
Dire team pick.
Okay, Troll Warlord will be the pickup. So this is a hero we don't see very often, especially in this region, John, but it does come out. Does work well
Yeah,
up against that Morphling as well.
it does. It's a stable core that, most teams do fall back to. It's the same situation with Juggernaut, of course. It just kind of fits into almost any draft. You can really just make it work quite nicely. Doesn't
5
really
seconds remaining.
lack too much. Goes online at all states of the game. Is always going to be relevant as well. Going into that late game can push quite nicely as well. But Aster, with that Pugna, could cause major issues for that Troll. The decrep alone will make sure that Troll can't get that right click damage through. And of course, it does give Aster a good amount of push. It kind of punishes the big ultimates coming out from Keen Gaming, especially that Sand King Epicenter. Going to be very hard to
10
follow up with a
seconds
blink when
remaining.
you take damage from that ward. So I like this pick for
5
Master.
seconds remaining.
It should complement their
Dire
draft quite
team
nicely. If nothing else, it will add to their push substantially.
We see the Grimstroke being the last ban out there from King Gaming. Aster. Not much time left for them. Make these final bans and pickups.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
See the Kunka getting banned out on their end of things.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Aster gonna start letting that reserve time tick down all the way, it seems. Finish off this draft for themselves, and they go for the tiny pickup. So a lot of early game aggression here from Aster. Definitely what you want to see. King Gaming, though, they have about the same, so should be a bit of a bloodbath in this team. Oh, this game, I think.
Definitely should be quite the shakeup from the last few games we have watched. It
10
should
seconds remaining.
really be an equal footing for both teams. Of course, both of them have to play really aggressive to maximize their drafts, and no one really wants to be the guy who reaches a three-way tie again after these decider matches are held, and then you kind of realize that you're the guy with the longest game. So all the teams ought to be playing a bit faster in case that possibility does come up again, which means a bit more aggression.
Well, King Gaming finish this off. I mean, the drafts look fairly even already. Doesn't look like there's anything too surprising to worry about here. They will finish off with the Lone Druid, which is something that I definitely wasn't expecting to see, but it is nice to see this hero pop up. King Gaming, though, they definitely have the potential to finish this game and gain the momentum of this game a lot faster than Aster do. Again, they do seem to be relying a lot on that Morphling to just farm up and get online ASAP.
I'm not sure. I feel like Aster actually does come online faster in general. At least in terms of push, the Pugna does really start laying on to the towers quite fast, much faster than Leshrac does, depending on your skill build, of course. And the Lone Druid takes way longer than the Morphling to come on, I have to say. Like, it definitely is a much more massive investment on that bear.
10 seconds
The
remaining.
Morphling has ways of being relevant early. I think it would be interesting to see if Aster does shift out their itemization, the timings they want to play around that morph, or if they're going to go with the standard builds we have seen so far, just going straight into that E-Blade and running around trying to burst people, getting the Scotty afterwards, Butterfly afterwards as well. That could still work out, but that is definitely very slow. So even if we reach back to that point where you have a three-way tie once more after the three decider matches, it would not favor either of these teams to play slow, and each side has a hero that plays slow, right? Lone Druid plays slow. Morphling kind of plays slow. You have ways of playing both of these heroes kind of faster, but they're really known for a much more farm-oriented playstyle. And it kind of works counterintuitively with what you want from these decider matches.
Well, don't forget, John, the thing with the decider matches are it's not necessarily about finishing the game fast. I mean, the odds are they're not going to tie again.
You reckon? I
mean,
mean, it's
I'm
a
not saying
very
there's-
big possibility.
There's about a 33% chance. I mean, if we're looking at purely from the mathematical perspective rather than the, you know, if we're not counting how good the teams are, which, I mean, just judging by the fact that they've been in a tiebreaker today, John, does indicate
Prepare for
that
battle.
there's a less than 50% chance that we'll see another tiebreaker. But I wouldn't put it past them if it happened.
Yeah, that would definitely be chaos. I think KG is probably banking on it not being that case. Because again, they go back to that lone druid, and it certainly is a bit more of an investment to get this hero online.
But don't you think they may not be trying to get it online? Rather use the Spirit Bear to be able to tank the towers, for example, so old chicken...
There are so many better heroes for doing that. I don't think the lone druid is the ideal. Sure, the bear does have great siege damage, but why not go with the Lycan? This is one case where I'd go back to the hero you love to talk about. If you wanted to push earlier, the Lycan's much better than the lone druid.
I'm saying in conjunction with the Leshrac, though. Right? Like with
Dominated Lycan creeps. Like, it's still faster than the lone druid. Like, that's not a great excuse to pick up this bear. Just using it as a frontliner tank. Just buy a couple of Dominators and two heroes. Like, one Dominator here, one Dominator there. You have 2,800 HP creeps right in front of you. In total HP pool of 2,800. That's pretty massive early on. You don't need the lone druid to be online for that.
Begins.
So I'm curious as to what exactly they want to pull off with this LD. Whether or not it will be a bear-oriented LD or a right-click-oriented LD. I believe the right-click-oriented LD on the druid itself doesn't take as much farm, but it's not as effective in sieging, of course. So again, it's something to watch out for from Keen Gaming.
Fair enough. Like Ying will be up against Chuan in that mid lane on the Pugna. Of course, Troll matchup will be interesting to watch. Chuan can't really get in range every 2 seconds to throw out Decrepifiers or Nether Blast, so Ying should have a pretty decent time on this Troll.
It certainly is a bit more stable for that Troll, of course. Again, the Pugna can throw out that Decrep and the Decrep and the Nether Blast, but the range is definitely not ideal, especially since the Troll can whack from pretty far. So you will have to cop a couple of bits of harass in exchange, and Pugna is not the tankiest hero, so this lane could be under immense pressure.
They are going to make a jump top lane. Looks like they will jump straight onto Baboka. Nice toss back under the tier 1 tower onto Kaka, though won't matter in the end. He will lose his life, and now Q, they are going to chase him down. In the end, they will let him go, but Keen, they get started with a nice first blood early on.
Yeah, again, nice little start. It looks like this tri-lane on tri-lane is
Again.
favoring Keen just a bit more.
Kaka just starting off with the burrow, but it looks like Old Chicken wasn't in range to throw out the stun. They are being very aggressive, Dark. Almost finding Q as well. Won't be able to get the job done, but Aster definitely going to have to watch this lane very carefully. Meanwhile, of course, down to the bot lane. See XXS. He's up against Old 11 right now. The beautiful thing about having the Doom up against the Spirit Bear is the fact that Infernal Blade does so much damage, although mind that point, Kaka is currently getting jumped, but they are going to go into Jay now. There will be a toss, however, and that will save Jay's life. They don't end up finding Kaka in the end. He does manage to survive on that Sand King. What a close cause. In fact, Dark is diving for Q and will end up finding it underneath the tier 1 tower. So Baboka now going to go in for an avalanche and toss combo. Jay actually falling rather low, but he'll strength more than he'll be okay. It'll be a 2-for-1 at the moment, 2.5 minutes in.
The exchange is definitely still favoring Keen Gaming, of course. All these kills are kind of accelerating the EXP gain on your Leshrac, so Old Chicken having a nice time here. He isn't under too much pressure as well while farming up, so should be a decent enough start for the Lesh, and that's going to be key. Again, both sides kind of want to get that early start going fast, and if you give the Leshrac a great time in lane, they'll be able to melt those towers much earlier on.
It's like mid lane going pretty evenly between these two. Chuan and Ying just pretty much trading farm. Neither has the potential to kill each other quite yet, so really sitting evenly in the mid lane. And of course, Old 11 not struggling whatsoever in this bot lane. Like, he does have the bear, he's perfectly safe with it. XXS cannot do anything against him either, so he's just gonna free farm on this lone druid.
Yeah, he's pretty much off to a good start as well. And we have seen LTs, of course, come online quite fast with a good start. I'm wondering if the Radiance is still going to be the build here. It possibly is, just because that raw damage and the aura is really good on the bear. But I kind of feel like we should expect different stuff coming out. But again, it's not the wackiest draft overall. It's just a faster draft, so it makes sense that your itemization wouldn't vary too much.
Parker. Struck placed on him. That they are gonna just really try and secure these bounty runes. I mean, it's only 4:20 right now on the time, but position also trying to protect these neutral stacks as well that KG have formed. MLPDotA seems to be always looking for a target to toss back underneath that tier 1 tower. It's all the man wants right now, but can't really get in range to find that toss.
Yeah, and once again, both sides are just kind of trying to find what they can in each lane. Again, the aggro try and the defensive try up top is really one to talk about because, again, that's 6 heroes in one lane. It does look like the XP will be hard to spread.
Avalanche toss is there on Dark. Now, though, they get the Split Earth off onto the Morphling and they're going to burst him down. Jay again losing his life, and now MLPDotA might get chased down, but no. They'll leave him be. They'll go for that bounty rune that was left over. Is that actually... That's 4 bounty runes going to the way of Keen Gaming.
Yeah, that's going to be a massive injection of gold once again to every single member of Keen Gaming, so that's a nice little boon for them, and it does set them up after this excellent start already to the laning phase.
Aster, they're going to rotate over the Pugna and MLPDotA, trying to deal with the mid lane a bit, but the Ying, he already does have help in the form of Dark, who does scout out MLPDotA. So this Tiny not going to be able to loop around and try to go for that attempt on the troll. Meanwhile, Q, got to be careful because Kaka looking for a Burrow Strike attempt, but will not end up going for it in the end. We'll go on to Jay instead, but he's already started strength morphing over, so there's no real kill potential there either. Will end up being okay.
Dire structures are fortified.
So they do go on to the Disruptor, however, and Q is dead, though MLPDotA finds another toss onto Old Chicken. He tries to survive, but that Avalanche is going to keep him in range of that tier 1 tower. That's going to make it a 4-2 now, but still the way of Keen Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, these counter kills are helping cause for Aster, but they have given a lot of ground to the way of Keen, especially in mid. I don't think you really slow this troll down enough with your Pugna pickup that you should feel anyway comfy. Ying has still had a pretty good start, and we have seen trolls transition to that jungle farm a lot and come out really scary, so should be a bit of an issue here for Aster if not left in check.
Radiant are scanning.
It's like Chuan, not life draining up Ying on that troll, does do a fair bit of damage. Meanwhile, though, there is a route down a bot lane. XXS gonna be in trouble, and Old Chicken looks like he wants to keep chasing, but there is a rotation there from MLPDotA now with the Avalanche. May go for the toss back as well, though he gets rooted in place by Old 11. Very hard to deal with this lone druid, and well, he has to toss the Spirit Bear back. They will ensure his survival, though top lane they do end up losing Q once again, And this T1 tower not going to be lasting much longer at this rate. In fact, they're thinking about the Nightmare off onto Jay, but he already started strength morphing anyway. Looks like he's going to remain that way, though. They do connect the Split Earth onto Jay. Q now does rotate over with Chuan, though Nightmare does come out on the Pugner immediately. Looks like Chuan going to go for the Life Drain, but the Split Earth again will be there from Old Chicken to ensure that stops. Aster having to rotate a lot of heroes over to try and protect that T1 tower.
Yeah, it does seem like a point they really don't want to give up. That's down to really jungle control right now.
Well, they got a Burrow Strike again onto Q, though. Oh, Ying trying to go for a chase there onto the Morph, but instead we'll just settle for the Disruptor kill. They did end up getting that T1 tower as well. King Gaming now 6-2. Net worth lead still sitting at about 2k. In fact, make that 3 now. Things certainly going the way of the Radiant. I mean, Aster have no control of this game right now.
Yeah, it's not looking that good for Aster so far. Like, we did see a good effort with BoBoKa trying to toss people back to that tower. Doesn't really pay off, and instead he's just kind of behind in EXP because of that tri-lane.
They found Nightmare off onto Jay. Split Earth will connect, and Kaka, he'll have the follow-up Burrow Strike. The Strength Morph was there, though, from Jay. So he will be able to survive in the end. Although we'll see what the next target is here for King Gaming.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Kind of curious as well. What's Old 11 trying to farm up on the Lone Druid?
Let's take a Mask of Madness first on the Bear. So it is a bit different from what we're used to seeing, but that does help with the push massively. So I like this coming out from Old 11.
Does seem like a nice build to go for if you need to just siege down towers. Why the hell not? But of course, it does make the Bear kind of susceptible to dying, and because you do still have Chuan there on the Pugner that can just decrepify him during that Mask of Madness. So, kind of questionable to see how effective it's going to be. The Banneroons will come up again. They found a Nightmare as well onto BoBoKa now, though he does toss back. Kaka Sand King, but it won't matter. Gets taken down once again. The roots coming out from the Spirit Bear. Old 11 doing a fantastic job on that Lone Druid. The top lane, they do try to make a play onto Old Chicken, but they don't really have the damage output to take down the Leshrac.
Yeah, and again, it's a great start for King Gaming so far. They should be able to take these towers with great ease, and once again, just slowly wither away the control that Aster has on this map. We have seen rough starts for Morphling before. This is probably one of the rougher ones we have seen in recent times, and certainly not Jay's most shining moment here. At bottom of his core's net worth right now, so not the best spot to be in.
Oh, Old 11 in trouble, but Burrow Strike will be there from Kaka. XXS wants to keep going though. There's a lot of damage coming out from Chuan, and now the Doom being thrown out as well into Kaka. He should end up falling fairly easily, although Deny attempt was not successful there from Old 11. XXS still somehow managed to find the final tick of damage. It doesn't look like King Gaming plan to stop this tier 1 push either. They want to keep going. Fair enough.
Yeah. I really like seeing this from this team. They just understand what they need to do, and what they need to do is kind of end as fast as they possibly can with their draft, which, if you optimize right, again, can run pretty fast.
Now going to jump in. BoBoKa will be okay throughout the avalanche. Now the fortification will be forced out. Aster, how do you even defend this if you're on the side of Aster? It's not looking too easy though. One, we'll drop the Nether Ward and think about diving in. They'll just keep decrepifying that Spirit Bear up, it seems, and now the Nightmare will come out on BoBoKa. That'll be followed up with the Split Earth of Old Chicken, and with that, the Fear does come out as well, though BoBoKa has the Avalanche, and they want to take down that Spirit Bear. It looks like they will as well, though he will respawn it immediately, but there's the Static Storm. That's what they wanted from the side of Aster. They will take down Old 11. They also get 2 bears, essentially, with that, and it looks like Dark will also be the next one to go down on the Bane. Meanwhile, Keen, though, they're going to turn around. They're going to go for another fight with that Epicenter onto Chuan. They will find a kill on the Pugner. But Boca, though, in the back, being very annoying on that Tiny. It looks like Ying will be there to really sort this Tiny out. We'll be able to take him out as well. So, pretty nice trade again for Keen Gaming. The only problem is they lost the lone druid with the Spirit Bear.
Yeah, not the ideal situation you want to be in for Keen. Just losing that bear out again. It's not going to be a fun time. It's going to be on cooldown when the lone druid is back up. So you're not going to have that option for the bear for the siege, for tanking up these creeps that you're going to want to farm. And you're kind of stuck in an awkward moment where you just don't do as much on the lone druid.
Overall, 4K net worth lead, 9-5, 13.5 minutes in. And well, we haven't looked at the Morphling for a while, but Jay, he has been farming up. Looks like he is going to rush a Lincoln Sphere on the Morphling. Meanwhile, Aster, they do smoke up on their end of things, and it looks like they want to try and get aggressive. Perhaps even just go on a warding run here, because Q does hold 3 Observer wards right now. Looks like they aren't going to really find anyone with this smoke either. Now setting up for that T1 tower though. They do find Dark on the Bane. They commit the Static Storm for this. They will be able to find it, but now with the Static Storm gone, Keen Gaming, they're going to be able to punish. XXS though throws the Doom out on the Troll. Does going to go straight for him. Fear does come out though. Now the Shrine being popped. Just trying to keep him alive throughout all this. Meanwhile, in the back, they are taking out Chuan with the Pulse Nova, and they do. It looks like the Tiny is also gone, but Boca was still chasing the Troll Warlord. They found Q on the Disruptor. There's only XXS left, and he is going to be surrounded right now. They're tipping the Bane in just in case. It does take a while to get there, but Old 11 should eventually find a route, and he does. There'll be 4 heroes being lost for the side of Aster. Net worth lead will increase to 5k for Keen Gaming. The only man surviving that team fight was Jay, who was just farming up the bot lane. There'll be a tier 2 push coming in here from Keen Gaming. XXS. Gonna be there to defend by himself, but not gonna be able to do the job. Old 11, again, has that Mask of Madness, though it's not available right now with the Spirit Bear, but he doesn't really even need it. They just commit the Diabolic Edict like that, and it's just that easy. And with that, Keen, you never really know. They might feel confident enough to go for a tier 3 tower. In fact, Old 11 is moving towards it.
Yeah, they pretty much have the early tools once again to really secure this. Just the attack speed from the Troll, the Bear hitting really hard. Look at that tower.
It's going down pretty fast, but the Decrepify is there again from Chuan. Static Storm being thrown out on Old 11. The Bear still chasing the backlines, trying to make sure they don't move forward, and he's just going to be fine. Though Life Drain will come out onto the Spirit Bear now, and it is still very early to try and breach that high ground, and they will back off in the end. Certainly, though, good signs for Keen Gaming, being able to do that much damage already.
Definitely is, and, you know, I was doubting how fast they could go with that LD, but with the way they're itemizing, at least with that early Mask of Madness, it has helped them secure all these early objectives, which opens up the map once again, allows them to really make these risky moves into that enemy jungle, and find farm even faster, so it is paying off dividends right now for Keen.
XXS might get caught out here. Top lane Dark. In fact, no, there will be a kinetic field from Q, which will indicate there's heroes around. Chuan wants to try and go after Dark, it seems, but the Nightmare does come out, and now Dark just going for the TP, though. Glimpse will be there from Q, and this will mean a dead Bane coming out for Keen Gaming. No help around the corner either. Looks like Old 11's still going to be going for a Radiance build, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm really curious, but again, it does help you with your split push. It gives you a little bit of insurance in case this game does go late, and gives you raw right click.
They found XXS. A very easy kill on the Doom, again, especially with that Mask of Madness. That Radiant's is going to be up pretty soon considering how much items he got before even bothering to try to go for that. Meanwhile, Ying has been farming pretty well on the Troll. He's going to have a BKB up fairly soon. And again, we might see another tier 3 attempt very soon from KG. I mean, they are pushing that top lane out again.
Again, they do have the tools to get that going. Just the LD alone, along with that Lush Rack, should be enough damage to really melt through any of these objectives. And that's really the magic of this lineup from Keen. They managed to make it work, and they are clearing out the map slowly but surely away from Aster.
Now a smoke will come out from Keen. A smoke is there from Aster as well, and they are going to move up to Old 11. He's not going to be expecting this rotation, but this should mean his life, unless he can spear them away pretty darn well. Though he is struggling, the Savage Roar not even coming out Old 11. He will end up losing his life in the end. Keen Gaming across the other side of the map, trying to find Jay on that Morphling, but even he gets away from this situation. It looks like he's going to be ever so close to that Lincoln Sphere now. BKB on XXS will be coming up soon as well, apparently. Now Blink will come out onto Chuan on the Pugna. Chuan's not been having the best game in the world, but there's very little he can do with how fast Side of Keen Gaming are trying to push down his towers. Just feels like he's just relegated to spamming Decrepify on Spirit Bears over and over again.
It does feel that way, and it's actually kind of surprising that Chuan just couldn't get his own momentum going. Definitely couldn't really pressure too many towers besides that mid-tier one by himself. So it's a bit of a shame with his Pugna pickup just not working out how Aster wished. But again, there is utility in it, just that decrep on the bear. Even on the Morphling, on the Troll, as he gets big, it's going to be a massive help to these team fights as they break out.
But Boca may get caught out mid lane. Not thinking about making the jump in, but it seems like Aster is sticking as 4 constantly now. Q gonna find Kaka, will throw out the kinetic field, but doesn't actually find him. Now the glimpse is there as well, but the Burrow Strike will dodge. It looks like they are just going to settle for waiting for Old 11 to finish off that Radiance first before they do make any further plays. Of course, they do have the BKB up now on Ying as well, so you do have that added protection, that added itemization that can let you fight pretty early on, but we'll see what the plan is here from Keen. I mean, I imagine once that Radiance is up, they'll probably try again for that tier 3.
Yeah, they do have the tools already, just that Radiance simplifying that process on the high ground, and there you go. They do smoke up, and they're going to force something into that high ground as well.
That's fair enough. Big team fight can do it, and they found XXS once again. Static Storm was committed, however, and that avalanche from Baboka keeping him alive. Ying wants to trace for more, but they just don't have the lockdown. Aster glimpses back as well, Old 11. He does have to morph into that bear form, and now the epicenter coming out, but Kaka can't actually walk through the kinetic field. Now Baboka gets a toss-off onto Old 11. They do jump in with the burrow though. Kaka trying to help out his teammate. Old Chicken comes in as well and just tries to burst down Jay, and he does find him. That's a big pick-off on the Morphling. Can they find any more though? Looks like they just may. In fact, they did. They found the tiny Baboka. He does end up losing his life, and that'll mean a tier 2 tower going down. No way to defend this.
Definitely not. You take a look at that Morphling's item buildup. He opted to go for that Lincoln's first. Now, that would be really great against that Bane, but the Bane can just easily pop the Lincolns with any other of his spells, and then still follow up with a Fiend's Grip.
Looks like they are going to move up towards that top tier 3 tower now with old Chicken. With that Fate's Edict, Diabolic Edict, it does make it very, very easy to burst this down though. Fortification has been forced out. All the heroes from Aster are back up and ready to go, and it looks like Baboka will jump in with the toss. Avalanche as well. Kaka does get taken out really fast. Old 11 though, still trying to take the tower and does do so successfully. Now finds a root as well. The Disruptor, but Decrepify will keep him alive, but not for long. A 1-for-1 trade. Tier 3 gone down. Now Baboka will jump in by himself. Old Chicken will be forced to BKB up to try and escape this. Though Jay moves in and now Ying turns around. He wants to fight this. The Strength Morph is there, however. Old 11 does find the root onto XXS as well. Wants to find the kill. The Savage Roar, though, will actually push the Doom back. And now another root coming out onto Chuan. Still, though, nobody going down on the side of Aster quite yet. And it looks like Old 11 will be able to back off to safety. Surely, Keen Gaming, I don't think they're going to be able to... Well, I don't think Aster's going to be able to catch up to this lone druid any further. They did end up finding another in the Bane, however, so Dark, his life will be forfeit. But he won't mind too much. He did allow his team to get a tier 3 tower.
Yeah, not the worst trade in the world for Keen, and... You know, destroying that tier 3 does open up the map for them at this point. If they opted to, they could take those shrines out, really invade that jungle, start to secure the Roshan as well if they wish, and escalate from there. We're still 23 minutes in, not the fastest game in the world, but a decent timing enough, and Old 11 is growing quite big. You are also seeing Ying again also growing quite big, and it feels like they do have the tools on hand now to start making that high ground happen a bit more consistently. Perhaps the Roshan is going to be required first for the full confidence in their fighting ability. Otherwise, you know, I don't see what else you wait for, really. You have the EXP, you have the items you want, you have been taking these fights as well. You could pretty much try to close here.
Ignite Worth lead here for Keen Gaming. Just seems like Aster just have so many ways to just defend. They will smoke up though. They find XXS. He's already scouted out Kaka. The nice pick off. Sandstorm will come out, although Baboka again just dances up, walks in. Burn Strike is there, however, and Baboka, he was a bit late with that toss. They get the Doom off on the Troll as well. Baboka now going down, no buyback on him. Meanwhile, who else have they found? It looks like it was the Morphling Jay who got caught out. Now the Split Earth connects. They want to burst him down, and they do. XXS trying to make a run for it. He's BKB'd up as well. The buybacks come out from Aster, but they have lost XXS. Chuan gonna get jumped. Burn Strike will be there. Now the epicenter as well. Kaka, he found another one. Baboka just bought back and came back in. There's Jay as well. They want to try and help this team out a bit. Baboka though getting close to falling himself, and now they found the Rudolph onto Jay. Burn Strike again from Kaka onto Chuan. Savage Roar will allow everyone to back off to safety. They forced out the buybacks. If they do that one more time, essentially the game is pretty much theirs.
Yeah, it's a really good trade for Keen. They managed to force out all those buybacks, and that opens up a lot for them. I think the next thing they're going to wait for is that cooldown on the Spirit Bear in case it dies in the middle of the next high ground siege. Beyond that, again, the world is their oyster. They can probably take that next team fight quite cleanly anyway. Maybe the Roshan again before anything major, but it's really all in the hands of Keen Gaming now.
Mid lane, they do end up finding Q on that Disruptor, but they're not able to keep him held down long enough. XXS meanwhile copped a nightmare, but he's alright. And Keen just desperate to try and get another team fight going. Understanding how far ahead they are, in fact they're 12k net worth ahead. Sergeant Yash now as well, getting completed up onto Ying. They're going to move into the Roshan, secure that Aegis up, try and force Aster to actually take a team fight. Aster though, just going to start pushing out that mid wave. They know what's going on, but can they make it in time? And do they think they can actually fight this? Well, XXS, he's going to walk in. He BKBs up, Burn Strike will not connect. Now Baboka runs in. The Decrepify was there onto Kaka, and he loses a lot of HP, but he does survive. A nice Nightmare dodge there coming out from Dark. Now the Fiend's Grip as well. They found Jay, and that's going to be a dieback on the Morphling. XXS being chased down. In fact, no, they want Q instead. They will find him as well. The Disruptor is gone. there's the GG call. They know they can't defend it any longer. That'll be a 27.5-minute GG coming out. And again, it is very important with these timings. Of course, this is a tiebreaker. And in case we have a second tie coming out, these times are going to matter quite a lot. Though Keen Gaming, a very decent time to finish off this game.
Yeah, much faster than we did expect from the initial draft, but they did itemize for that early on and really secured themselves a nice start into these tie-breaking matches, Mike. Still have potentially 2 more. Hopefully, you know, I mean, up to 2 more. And remains to be seen if we need to go that far, but we'll find out fairly soon, Mike.
Well, it's a matter of whether Aster lose to Typhoon now. So it's going to be Aster versus Typhoon coming up next, John. So if Typhoon win this series, Aster is out completely of the close qualifiers. If Aster win this series against Typhoon, then Typhoon will have to verse Keen Gaming. And then it'll be either Typhoon loses that match or it'll be down to times again. So we'll see. We'll get into the next lobby rather fast. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back in just a moment. It is MLPDotA and johnxfire. Hopefully it won't be too long.